I, Dracula Rectus, by entering into the organization, unification or death, do hereby swear by the sun which shineth upon me, by the earth which feedeth me, by God, by the blood of my forefathers, by my honor and by my life.
It was a cool, dark evening in 1912 in their homeland of Serbia. Three passionate men gather in the basement of a member's household with the hope of becoming an initiated member of the elusive Black Hand.
I shall faithfully serve the task of this organization.
Here is Gavrilo Princip saying his oath. He was born on July 25, 1894, in Ublaj. He was originally a member of the group Young Bosnia. They wished for an end to the Austro-Hungarian rule in Bosnia. He eventually joined the Black Hand, where he would take part in a plot to assassinate the Archduke of Austria-Hungary. The Black Hand, also known as Ujeden Genji, Ilias Smrt, meaning unification or death, was a secret organization formed on May 9, 1911, with the professed goal of creating a greater Serbia. This was a Serbian nationalist ideology that included the creation of a Serb state, which would incorporate all regions of traditional significance to Serbs, including Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, and North Macedonia. To some members, this also meant the inclusion of parts of Albania, Bulgaria, Hungary, and Romania. This idea is based on the expansive Serbian Empire of the 14th century. After the fall of the Serbian Empire, they fell under the rule of the Ottoman Empire and then the Austria-Hungarian Empire. The Austria-Hungarian Empire consisted of Austria, Hungary, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Slovenia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, Poland, Romania, Ukraine, and Montenegro. While the country of Serbia was not under their rule, many Slavs were. They also feared that the Austria-Hungarian Empire would expand, taking over Serbia.
The Black Hand was organized at the grassroots level in 3 to 5 member cells. Above them were district committees. Above them were Central Committee in Belgrade. At the top was the 10-member executive committee, led more or less by Colonel Dragutin Dimitrovic, also known as APIS. Members really knew much more than the members of their own cell and superior above them to ensure that the group's leaders would remain secret.
One of the superior founding members of the Black Hand was Colonel Dragutin Dimitrovic. He knew the Serbian government and army well, as he was a professional army officer and was the chief of intelligence department in the Serbian General Staff. He is known as the mastermind behind the assassination. He came to the conclusion that Ferdinand, the heir to the Austria-Hungarian throne, must die to push his agenda forward. While his official reasons were not documented, we can easily assume his reasoning. Ferdinand had been very open about the reforms that he planned to enact when elected, which posed a very real threat to Pan-Slavism. Dimitrović's plot to assassinate Ferdinand moved far beyond just the want to stop him as an individual. They saw a further goal of starting a war with the Austria-Hungarian Empire, with Russia backing them, as they had previously promised during the Balkan Wars.
When it was learned that the heir apparent to the Austria-Hungarian throne, Franz Ferdinand, was scheduled to visit Sarajevo in June of 1914, the Black Hand decided to assassinate him. 3 young Bosnians were recruited, trained, and equipped: Gavrilo Princip, Nedjeljko Kabranović, and Trifko Grabus. The 3 Black Hand trainees secretly made their way back to Sarajevo roughly a month before Franz Ferdinand. A 4th man, Danilo Ilic, had joined the group on his own initiative, recruited 3 others. Baso Kabrilovic, Kovetko Popovic were 17-year-old high school students. Mohammed Mehmed Basic, a Bosnian Muslim, was added to give the group a less pan-Serb appearance. 4 Serbian army pistols and 6 bombs were supplied from Serbian army arsenals.
After plenty of preparations and training, the 7 men were ready to execute their plan to assassinate the Archduke. At around 10 a.m., the Archduke's party left their base for the parade around the city. The first 2 attempts at Ferdinand's life came from Mehmed Basic and Kabranovic, both of which had planned to bomb the car, but were unsuccessful in killing the Archduke. Although, the second bomb did detonate near his car, injuring around a dozen spectators. After the failed attempt, Kabranovic, in order to not be caught, took a cyanide pill and jumped into a river, neither of which did much damage to him. Princip had also given up on the mission and gone down the street to a sandwich shop. Because of the injuries, Ferdinand changed his route towards the hospital. This put Princip in the perfect location since Ferdinand's entourage made an abrupt stop on the road directly in front of the sandwich shop. Princip quickly reacted, taking this perfect opportunity to fire 2 shots aimed at the car, killing both Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie. He was very cavalier about the situation, later stating,
"I aimed at the Archduke. I do not remember what I thought at that moment."
1 month after Ferdinand's death on July 28, 1914, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. This led to a domino effect, which initially brought Germany, Russia, Great Britain, and France into the war, as well as all of their individual colonies. This was the beginning of the First World War. This brutal war would last for over 4 years, ending on November 11, 1918, with approximately 40 million people from over 40 countries worldwide being lost to the war. The hardships of this war will never be forgotten. After the death of Ferdinand, each of the 7 assassins were caught and indicted. As Illich was the only one of adult age, which at this time was 20 years old, he was sentenced to death and executed in 1915. Princip, Kavranovic, and Grabez were all sentenced to 20 years in prison, but died of tuberculosis within the first 3 years of incarceration. Popovic, Kubrilovic, and Metabasic were all sentenced to a minimum of 13 years, but were released within a few years. The Black Hand had a very specific agenda they wished to play out. While the outcome was not what they initially wished, one could easily argue that it was much better. The Austria-Hungarian Empire had fallen. They no longer controlled a vast majority of Europe. With this break came the creation of multiple independent nations: Austria, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Romania, and most importantly, Yugoslavia. It was deemed the name the Kingdom of the Serbs, Croats, and Slovens. It was the first union of the South Slavic people as a sovereign state. They were finally not under the rule of an empire.